5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
Understand this.
Ladies and gentlemen, put your damn hands together. Get ready to have your earlobes massaged by the one and only
Finesse Mitchell.
Oh, it just puts me in a good mood. It puts me in a good mood every time I hear that. Hey, what's up, Jeannie D's?
What's up, brother?
We are back one more time.
It's good to be here, man.
It's good to be here.
I do get hyped when I hear this intro.
I get hyped.
Because we only hear it when we record the podcast. It's like our ritual.
Yeah. That's
Welcome.
the only time I try to hear it. Because if I hear it all during the week, then I'm going to water it down. But when
Good
I
point.
just save it for the pod, then it gets me hyped.
Yep.
Because this is definitely a day to get hyped.
Come
Want to
on.
know why?
I want to know. Tell them why.
Because outside of my wife, this
Hey, man.
is what? You don't even know what I'm gonna say.
Don't get in trouble.
I'm okay.
No trouble to be had.
Yeah.
No trouble to be had. But I was getting ready to say outside of my wife. I didn't call a lot of women to be on the podcast. So when I did reach out to somebody outside of my wife and got a yes and got a big ass yes, it just
Right.
lifted my spirits. It made me feel great. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very special episode because I have a super duper recording artist, 6 albums in the bank, worked with every known producer that's relevant in the realm of R&B. And I'm looking forward to her making my debut on her up-and-coming gospel album. Put your hands together for the beautiful, the talented, the smart Chante Moore.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I feel like I should be speaking a little lower.
Chante, you should have a TV show. Because I know you personally, and every time I'm around you, I'm like, okay, I hear the artist, but I see the personality, the comedy, just the feel-good vibes. And I know you're just, I think you're a natural. I know you're a natural. Have you ever, done TV or?
No. Well, no.
You should.
I want to do something specific, though. I don't want to just be like.
You don't want to be a
walking in-
sitcom
walk on-
mom,
yeah,
or you don't want to
no.
do a guest role on Power or anything like that? Or
Well, I would do that.
Okay.
But I think, I have, you see me with your children. There's a few things I want to do. One of them is to do a particular show that's for kids.
Oh.
Because I'm just a big kid. I love being goofy. I love teaching children by doing.
Mm-hmm.
I love interaction with them. I love being silly and not caring about what I look like. I don't care.
Here I am. The first time, I didn't know who my wife's friends were, but when she said Chante was coming over one year, I don't know what that was, and I was just like, okay, cool, and I didn't think anything of it. And then you walked through the door, and I immediately ran and put on deodorant. I was like, oh,
Thank you for not being stinky.
yeah, I was like, oh, well, you got to give me a heads up. I didn't bathe in 2 days, and you got
Hey.
Chante Moore in our house? No. And then, a couple of years later, you're singing at our wedding.
Yeah. I did that for you.
Thank you for that.
I made you all work
Yes,
so that I could sing.
that was a blessing.
Thank you.
You killed it. And
Thank you very much.
and then what was really dope was when I was like, hey, you want to come on the podcast? And you was like, yeah, let me cancel Keith Sweat. And you were supposed to fly out, right?
I was yesterday.
Has work just come to a screeching halt? For me, work has came to a screeching halt. So I'm finding things and energy and channels to just make me feel whole.
Yes. Every job I had that was planned for 2020 is in 2021.
Yes. Not canceled, but pushed back.
Pushback so far.
Okay.
So they said. They were like, we could have our deposit back until then. I was like, y'all crazy. Y'all are comedians, right? Oh, no. So, yes, I didn't hear the screech, but it definitely did completely stop. Yeah.
I decided, a lot of things were decided for me, but and not even the clubs or the agents. Wifey was like, nah, you ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? But and then the clubs started to really come around we really can't figure this out yet, so we should stop. Because a lot of people was like, no, we're going to keep business going as usual. But people are just starting to figure out the social distancing concerts. But I just don't know that if you're at half capacity because you want people to be safe, then as a promoter, how do you make money? Because we want our full check.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
there's been a couple of good ideas that have been discussed. One was the drive-in. I have a drive-in concert that's in September.
Okay.
That people come in their cars, and I don't know if they sit on the rooftop of the hood or if they're on inside and they tune in to the Wi-Fi part or what. I don't know how they do it, but that's supposed to happen in September.
You know what? This is weird, but my daughter had a drive-through graduation, and they said turn to the frequency on your dial in your radio, and then we could hear everything actually through the car, because they had, commandeered some station on the dial, and I was like, oh, okay, so this is like a drive-through graduation movie, yeah,
which have boomed during COVID.
Yeah,
like people have flocked to drive-in movies.
Yeah, there was only there's one, I think, within 60 miles of me.
Yeah, City of Industry, and then down south there's one, and there's one out near like Claremont, out further east.
Far,
yeah.
When I found out that nobody was really going anywhere, and then Jeannie and I was like, all right, we cranking back up the podcast. We basically was using it as, okay, well, this is a reason for us to get out the house. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do a show on Sundays in my living room. And just sing whatever I want. I sing it for an hour, and I talk about whatever I want for the hour from 3 o'clock to 4 o'clock.
Did you brand it? Did you name the show?
The Moore Chante Show, because I'm giving you more of me.
And then already know what you're going to sing, or do people like hit you up directly and be like, I want to hear?
They ask me all the time. They give requests. But the first couple of shows I was trying to read while I was doing the show. Very difficult considering my eyes are over 40. I don't claim the rest of me, but I can't see very well with that. So I stopped trying to read what they're saying right away and just do what I want. But I get requests and suggestions and whatever, pleads for particular songs. But usually I sing what I want.
What's your go-to song when people put you on the spot and they say sing something? What's your go-to, like? Or is it a
usually
mood thing?
They want It's All Right or Shantae's Got a Man. I don't usually sing Shantae's Got a Man because it's such a big song. It's just, you have to start, I would have to perform the song. You don't just sing that song. It's like, blah, and I don't want to do that in somebody's living room. But if I am singing something, either Love's Taken Over or It's All Right. Usually pretty cool.
It's All Right is my song. Like right when I've always been an R&B fan all my life. I always wanted to be in the R&B group, because I couldn't sing, but so I figured if I was in the group,
you could hide
I could hide. You know what I mean? If I was the fifth member of Jodeci, I could get a check. I could do the same thing Dalvin doing, because he can't sing. So
I can snap my fingers.
You know what I'm saying? But one thing that I really like and remember most about my young adult Finesse times is that the soundtrack to Boomerang, that was my joint. So strangely enough, that I didn't know I was going to ever meet you. And the old Finesse, the one that was, in them streets a lot, I'm going to go ahead and say this. Your song on that soundtrack was my, in college, Young Lady, It's Time to Leave song. That was my exit song. The way you sang. And because I never knew what the song was saying, but I just knew it was a beautiful way to just say, yeah, we should find our shoes right now.
That's cool. We should find our shoes.
It is that time to find our shoes. Kenny wrote that song?
Which song? You talking Wait and Exhale.
Soundtrack.
That was not Boomerang, but yes.
Oh, Wait and Exhale.
It's okay. I get called Tamia and Shanice and everything else. So it's okay. I knew what you meant, but yes. Yes. Well, you can say that's writing that song in particular. There's no real words. It's just forget about it. Forget about it. It's no real words.
That's how I rap on this show. That's how Jeannie is a producer. He drops amazing beats.
And then you just mumble.
I do that. And then I hit him with a real chorus.
Oh.
Shantae's to my left. Shantae's to my left. I know you are not deaf. Cause Shantae's to my left. I said now Shantae's to my left.
New hit single.
Shantae's to my left.
Uh-huh.
I know you are not deaf. Cause Shantae's to my left. And then I go back into my verse. I'm at that temper.
You should leave your verse out.
So no, for real though. But Boomerang and Waiting to Exhale. I mean,
those are great soundtracks.
They don't do that stuff anymore. I think it's an attack on R&B in general, and I just don't. You just don't get the selection of what you had back in the day. You know what I mean?
Changed a lot. Things have changed a lot in music, though, and I think that's part of why we understand the generation gaps. They happen. Would
you rather be Chante Moore in 2020, just now coming out, the way things are now, with knowing what you know about the industry? Because it's not even like, oh, we know how many records you sold. Now it's just about streaming, you know. Or would you rather have? Oh no, my time was cool. Like, is there? I put it to you this way: there are certain athletes that just say, "Man, if I was playing today, because back in my day, you know what I mean." So,
I think I should have come out 10 years earlier
than what you came out. What artist would that have put you with if you had come out 10 years earlier?
10 whole years.
10 years earlier. I remember Precious dropping in like 91,
It was
92.
91.
Okay, because I remember I was in school. I was a freshman.
81. I don't know. I didn't do history on it because I didn't know you were going to ask me that. But I always felt like I was a little behind my time. Like something happened, and I should have been out just a little earlier.
Okay.
I don't know who would have been in that time.
I know
period.
Anita Baker was probably just dropping.
She was in that.
She was 80s.
5 years, 80. Yeah.
Karen White was.
Karen White. She
80s.
came out. Yeah, but I still feel like I just a little bit before that, because I love the albums that played a long time. I love the artistry and the artist development that happened. I love the music that touched my heart and made me feel like singing. Sometimes after the 80s, we got a little New Jack and everything kind of happened, and I was the opposite of New Jack City.
Right.
I was the opposite of New Jack.
Teddy Riley fucked up the game.
No, he didn't. He just brought a whole nother something that was completely different than me, which is okay because Sade survived in it and thrived in it. But I don't know. I feel like I always got just a little lost in that zone, just a little bit.
I hear you. Same way with comedy. You know what I mean? I do stand up, and I'm like, should I have come out during the Eddie Murphy time? I'm like, no, because you would still only be talking about Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
Should I have come out in the time that I'm like, we can't predict how things are gonna go, but then when we see the business shifting, it's almost like it is right now. Are we gonna shift with it? Or sometimes does it take you someplace where you're not necessarily comfortable going, and then you have trouble just going there? And everybody's saying, go there, go there, go there. And I'm like, for me personally, I'm like, I'll figure it out. As long as I can eat, I'm going to figure out how to do it my way that I feel comfortable with. No matter how many checks I might lose in the process, but I'm going to always look back and say, oh yeah, I did that. And then it all came back around. You know what I mean?
I did it my way. Yeah.
I think that's important. What's your Mount Rushmore of female artists? There are 4 people on that mountain. What's your Mount Rushmore?
Shaka Khan comes up first. Jeez. I would say Tremaine Hawkins.
Come on.
4, huh?
You need 2 more.
I do. Barbara Streisand.
I like it. She had pipes.
She had a lot of things. I didn't explain everybody, so I'm not going to explain her. I'm just saying. Shaka, her, and then what is... Oh, boy. That's a hard one. The last one. Skill alone, voice control.
Chante Moore, everybody.
No.
Chante Moore, everybody.
Yeah.
No. I wouldn't say me. Even if I was like going, I'm good, but no, I don't mean that. Like that's not. I don't think I'm that girl. I'm the girl you want to have, but I'm not the girl on the Mount Rushmore thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to hear my songs,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm the must have because you feel my heart, not because I'm the vocal Bible or the, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Kim Burrell, I think would be on there.
Mm-hmm. If would you be a straight gospel artist, or do you like the R&B route?
I like singing about love too.
Okay.
I really do.
Were people pressuring you when you first started? Was your family pressuring you, or was it just an individual?
No, my mother was really the one who, well, everyone first told me to shut up and I couldn't sing because everybody in my family is super talented. So they were like, poor boo-boo, sit down. You just good thing you're cute because singing you ain't. I was like, I don't care. She gave me a tape recorder and she said, this is because I want you to hear how badly you sound. Honestly, those are the words she said. And I was like, ooh, a tape recorder. That's all I cared about.
Right.
The tape recorder part. So I went in my room and I did this with myself. Like I just was like, and you know what happened yesterday? I literally have tape of me at 7 years going, this boy, he called me the B word. And I told him, no way. You know, I just in there talking to nobody and then singing songs. These are the new hits. And just singing to me. And singing to the Lord and not even thinking of practicing for anything in particular. Some songs I could hit notes and some songs I couldn't hit the notes. But those things became skills that I honed after a while, like a super high note that I do now that people want me to teach them. And I'm like, I don't even know how I taught myself. So I don't know how to explain to you.
Who can go higher, you or Mariah Carey?
She goes pretty high. I don't know. I've never gone.
You make glass break though. You know it. Like I've heard it.
It's trembled. I have not cracked it yet, but I'm going to.
The way you do it in a song and the way you hit it, but then the way you go to the next level when you hit it, when you think, oh shit, that's high, and then you hit the next one, it's just like, who would you take in a versus battle on your side? You know the versus battle that's been going on with Timbaland and Swiss? Because a lot of people are talking about who they would go up against. Who you want to go to war with? Who would you want on your side?
That's a good question.
If Mariah Carey is on the other side of the microphone.
On the verses.
The
verses me.
Yes. And she's about to bring in a partner that you don't know who she's about to bring in. Who would you?
And verses is about hits. You ask me questions I ain't even thought about answering. Wow. I would. I think I would take Brandy with me.
Brandy, she just dropped a new album. Have you heard it?
I have.
You like it? Brandy.
Art.
Is
next level. The production.
I love that it just sounds like what you want to hear during COVID.
Great point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You may not want to hear dun, 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 whoa, and then the end of the song. It's like you just put it on and it just, I'ma blow your phone.
That's how the release was too. The Zoom thing. Yeah. It was just hang out with me. Yep.
I'm like, gone. Because that's what I want to hear. I want to put my top down and put the songs on.
I always thought Brandy always did a great job at flow. Putting her album together and what song is coming up after whatever song.
Oh, I see on the album.
Yeah, just a flow.
You know what I think happens?
What?
She does this flow, and then I think they go, and then we have these 4 more songs.
Right.
That's what it feels like. It feels like, oh, yeah. And then,
yeah.
it's like they've got to make sure they put those on.
We got to put those on.
Talk to somebody else. She was like, yeah, but I'm a flow, and then y'all do what you want. When you get to, you know what I mean? It seems like a song ends, and then there's some other songs that just come. That's what I feel like CDs do. I don't know why. Maybe it wasn't on purpose.
But so you're a fan?
Oh, yeah. I think she's great at her mood, the texture of her voice. That's big to me. And yeah, she can do the runs and everything, but they don't distract from the beauty of her voice. I think that's most important for me. It may not be for everybody, because some people just like the. I'm impressed by that because that's what Kim Burrell is really good at, just maneuvering her voice, and she's a pianist, so she can hear notes between notes I never would have thought of ever doing. Jasmine Sullivan is also great at that. But I like the texture. Jasmine has a great texture too. That's what I like. I look for a person's voice to make me feel something. That's why we like Sade. That's why I like her. Anyway.
You know who does it for me? Eddie Kane Jr. in the 5 Heartbeats. Do you remember the 5 Heartbeats?
Yes.
Didn't he have texture? I don't know who was singing that part underneath that man lip syncing.
You're like, who?
Who is that sound?
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Because and it's not to be funny, but when you start saying texture, I'm like, you know what? There are certain voices that you hear where you're just like, you know, that's that guy, you know? And so when it comes Luther had a silky smooth texture with that it could be heavy, but it was still smooth heavy. You know what I mean?
Joe.
Who?
Joe.
Joe has a texture. You know what I like about Joe? He's a buddy, and what I like about him, and I've always been a fan, that when Joe hits a high note, it's still his voice. It's not falsetto.
Right.
So nobody can really like do Joe songs but Joe. He's a very difficult person to be like, oh, I'm about to do a Joe song. No, you're not. No, you're not. You think you're about to do a Joe song because he's way up there.
He has a great voice.
He has a great voice. So if I said Brandy or Monica, you would say?
Brandy.
If I said Israel Hutton or Hezekiah Walker?
Israel.
If I said Anita Baker or Sade?
Ooh. That'd be real hard. Sade Baker.
Roddy Ricch or the Baby?
Who is that? Don't know.
Those are the that's on the streets right now. They the hot new. That's rap. You know.
Then the Baby.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know.
Do you listen to female rappers? Do you listen to Cardi B, Nicki?
Yes, I've heard a lot of them because they're just, we get bombarded. Not me, but the world is bombarded with their music. So,
what is the difference between the promotion? I mean, I feel like promotion is everything, but I just don't feel like Brandy saying I'm about to drop an album hits the streets like Cardi B in a new WAP song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like I talk to Jeannie about this all the time. I said, bro, I think they purposely just do not promote black love anymore, or just black heartache, or black family love, or just black encouragement. It has to be, and I'm a fan. I'm a fan of every artist. And even I know I'm old because, when people be like, oh, the WAP song, I guess I'm the same person when back in the day when 2 Live Crew dropped Throw That D and all that stuff. I thought it was the best shit ever. I was just like, oh, and I remember being in high school like, all you want to do is throw that D. But now when I listen to like what people get hype over, I'm like, my ears. Oh my God, my daughters. Oh my God,
that's the generation gap happening one more time.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But it gets so much push. It gets so much promotion.
Yeah. Well, both of them are huge artists. So
whatever they drop,
the
machine is going to get behind
a lot of money already. So they want to make sure everybody hears it so they can make their money back. Not them as the artist. The people who put them out have spent money on making their music, making their videos, making whatever it is they're doing. They've spent a lot of money on them already. So they want the world to hear it so that they can recoup. If they don't promote it, nobody knows, they won't recoup.
Kirk Franklin, Fred Hammond.
Fred.
Can you think about it a little bit?
No, Fred is one of my favorites ever. And I love Kirk too. I can't even, but it's Fred is so diverse and just a worshiper. I want to party sometime, and I can do that with Fred. But when I just want to worship and party, and then worship, that's Fred. That's right.
Fred's got the pastoral element too.
I don't know what it is. It's just he really is the spirit of David. It's like he can sing a song about messing up, and you're like, me too, I was there.
Yeah.
And then about rejoicing, me too, I was there. It's like everything he can relate to.
Fred was playing bass for Marvin Sapp, right? They were in a group together, right? Because Marvin Sapp has that strong pastoral.
Let me fix that, because
I'm so sorry. Yeah, please fix
generation
it.
gap too.
See, we talking about it.
Commissioned.
Yes, fix
is
it.
the group. Fred played bass also in Commission. On
Right.
Commission, he used to carry the bass. He has bad knees, so he stopped carrying the bass. When one of the singers went out of Commission, that's when Marvin Sapp came into Commission.
Got it.
They brought him into Commission.
Marvin Sapp is Grand Rapids, right?
Yeah. I love Marvin too. Don't be thinking I don't like Marvin. I love Marvin.
Marvin is a nuke.
But Commission,
Right,
all Commission lovers and people who know him will be like, oh no, they didn't just
Get it
let
right.
that
Give
go. Marvin has done some wonderful things since then, with the songs that he's done. Those are broken records, really. Literally broken sale records and things like that. He's done a really great job.
What would you give? What advice would the 2020 Chante give the year 2000 Chante?
2000.
Because
Can we go 1999.
yeah,
Can we go there?
yeah.
Slow down,
Okay.
woman. Think about you. Just think about you. Don't look for love. Don't get distracted. Don't move. Just take your time.
Mm-hmm. Did you feel like you were in a hurry with everything back then, or because this is my heyday years? You said slow down with love a little bit. Like when I saw you with Dwayne, I said Dwayne. I was going to say Dwayne. Damn,
Okay,
Wade.
everybody call him Dwayne Wayne.
Dwayne Wayne. When I saw you with Kadeem, I was just like, oh, he lucky. You know what I mean? Because as a kid, you just be like, how he do that? You know what I mean? I met him a couple of times personally. Great personality. But it's hard for a traveling comic to like keep a relationship, stay in love. Were people tugging on you back then, just saying who you should be in love with or who you should date? Or did you feel pressure like it was part of this whole, you got to think about your image and da-da-da-da, dee-dee-dee-dee? Not saying that you shouldn't have been with this guy, but you know how people always chime in, but not friends. It's just more or less like.
Before I got pregnant with my daughter, she was born in 96 though. So you'd have to go back a little further than that. But before I got pregnant with her, I was told jokingly, but I knew the person loved me, like really cared for me, but they also were caring about my career. They said if I got pregnant before they were ready for me to, he said, I will choke your stomach.
Right.
However,
how do people have a hit album and then of course now you got a gazillion eyeballs on you,
yeah,
right? And then you stay focused on music and or not take these golden carrots dangling in front of your face with the hot dudes that are out that are coming after you. You know what I mean?
That's what I was saying. You have to go back before 96 because once I had my daughter, my life changed. Things changed for me as far as dating was concerned. I did eventually get married with Kadeem. And that, it didn't last forever like we thought it would or hoped it would.
Y'all still cool?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's one of my favorite people on the planet. He really is a good man.
Talk once a week, check in once every 2 weeks, or?
No, less than that. He's
okay.
Not good at communicating all the time.
Right.
He's working now, though, which is good. But he has a girlfriend, so, we can't just be like, hey, I can't. And I wouldn't do that to him. Is this gated? It just seems like it's a little tight. If it can just loosen up a little bit, the mic. I just feel like it's just. Got
it. It is compressed. There's some natural compression there. I'm going to bring you down, though.
Okay. I just want it to flow a little bit more. I feel like I'm going. Okay. So yeah, we talk often enough that we're good. I know if I need him, I can call him.
Gotcha.
So, and vice versa.
Gotcha.
But I forgot what the original question was. But 2020, I don't know. Slow down, be still. Just be still. I worried a lot through my entire life about finding the one and being in love and what that was supposed to mean.
Was that more important than the career?
I think it drove me more than quote unquote success did.
Gotcha.
if I just would have focused on my career more than my love life, then I might have had a bigger career. And if I'd have been a hoe, I really would have been huge.
Right.
Because people were offering this for that.
Right.
And I was like, yeah,
Were they doing the whole what do you call tracks for sex back then?
pretty much.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
That ain't pretty
It's
much.
called hoeing. That's
Yeah.
hoeing. I'm like,
right.
I sing for a living. You either want me to have this song or you don't. And if you want that for that, then you go ahead and keep your song.
Right. Big time producers, huh? That's
You'd be
like
so surprised.
I'd be so surprised. Name.
No.
Name.
No. Nope. But what I
Babyface
will
did
say-
what?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No. No. But what I will say is that if you play the politics and the game of any industry, usually you do better. And I'm not really that girl. I'm
Right.
more of a, homebody. I'm not at the opening of everything.
Right.
I rather chill.
Right.
And I'm good with that. I want to go sometimes, but I don't just want to go for going. If I'm invited or if I am nominated, those are good reasons to go. But just to go to be like, girl, you ain't been out. Go. If I have a single coming out, I get that too, because you want to kind of get back in the public eye. And then now I don't even know what's supposed to be.
Right.
I don't know. Do you know? I don't know.
Because I'm the same way. I am a dude. I'm one of those, and there's a lot of us. But I was like, if I don't figure out my relationship thing, if I don't figure out this love thing before I pursue this career, then I'm never going to find that one, because I know me. I'm a Gemini. I'm very easily, I'm very easily on to the next, or what is the next challenge, or what is the next interest. And I said, if I don't lock down love, then I can't focus on my career, because every time I finish something career related, my eyes are wondering like, who's next? I'm about to play that Wave song tonight, because somebody about to leave the room after we done. You know what I mean? I was, and it was important for me. I it calms me, when I'm like, okay, home is straight. And, whether I stayed out late or whether I don't leave at all, somebody kind of gets it or understands me personally.
It makes a difference.
It makes a difference.
It does.
And it allows me to be creative.
But that's who you are. And I think there are certain people who are just not made that way. The thing we know, or we call a trap out there, that world of all of those senses being fed. And I think that's what people go, watch out now, that industry will get you. No, it's what you desire is going to get you, because that's what they're going to give you. Is everything success keeps giving you what you want. Whatever it is that you're tempted by, that's what, I'm a Christian, of course, so the enemy is going to bring that out. It's going to be like, oh, here, you like that? Yeah, oh. You like that too, don't you? And he's going to keep bringing those things that are my temptation.
In excess.
But you can bring out some cocaine. I won't be snorting cocaine.
I've never done cocaine.
I did it at 14.
Wow.
An idiot that my parents let me date. Wow, I just threw that out, didn't I? Anyway, but I did. He was like, oh, you should try the line. I was like, okay. Tried a line of cocaine. Felt nothing. Went outside and took a nap and went and sunbathed. In Mexico.
How old was he?
21. Don't ask me.
We just went to another level up in this thing.
Look here. And my parents were I thought they were smart, and I know they were saved, and I still don't understand. Except for, let me tell you how I've come to terms with this. My mom passed on 20 years ago now, 25 almost years ago. And what I know is that it had to happen to me so that I would become the woman that I am. I had to be exposed to a man who I should not have been exposed to, exposed to things that I should not have been exposed to, have had experience that I wonder why in the world would anyone throw their daughter out to wolves with pork chop panties? I just don't understand that. And The only thing I can say is that I have been able to speak to that young lady hundreds of thousands of times. That same girl, that was me.
What do you mean you've been able to speak to her? Like literally, like
I've been able
out?
to understand exactly where she's been, and I can see her. I can spot her from across the room.
Wow.
Because I've been in her shoes.
Do you feel like, of course, if somebody's 21 and you're 14, there ain't no way you can hide that from your parents.
No.
So your mom was like, I'm cool with it.
My mom was like, "Go." They knew it was a secret. It was a secret to me that I was going to Mexico. It wasn't a secret to my mother.
Was the person famous, or was the person just a neighborhood person?
No, he had money. And my mother came from the South where she was very poor, and she wanted things for her life that didn't come quickly or easily for her.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to look at me and go,
Wow.
"You too pretty to be broke."
Right.
I was like, "I am?" She said, "You am."
Reminds me of that What Love Got to Do with His story when Lawrence Fishburne told me, "Sorry, I crushed your flowers on the way in. This should cover the damage." And the mom takes the money. Anime, get ready, girl. This man is out here waiting on you. You know what I mean? And next thing you know,
Feels like that.
You're in a singing group with Ike Turner.
Except I wasn't singing in the group. Just
It was just looks and
Mexico.
go on this trip to Mexico and
Yeah. I don't know. It still doesn't make sense to me, except that every scar, every traumatic event is used right now in my life. Right now. I talk about it freely because it is my life.
you're in a good place right now?
I am. I have some moments like everybody else right now. So I'm like, Jesus, because if you don't show me the way, I don't know what I'm going to do. I do that. But other than that, yeah, life is good. My children are healthy and growing, and they're wise and learning, and the things they're not wise in, they're trying to figure it out. They really are self-examining, which is part of what you're supposed to teach them, is how to problem solve. So, yeah, I mean, I'm single, and I'm happy about that most days. Most days.
Is it tough being single during COVID?
No,
Okay.
I bought a jacuzzi.
Okay.
Something warm to put around me.
I love
Something
it.
that makes me hot.
I love it. You know what a lot of people, when you were at my reception, there were a lot of dudes that were like, "Introduce me."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, let's go." And it's like, no, wait. You gonna introduce me? I was like, "You just said introduce you."
Right.
Is that the case with you in dating, that either people think you're already in a relationship, or they just are that intimidated where they'd rather stare?
They do.
Do you find men just creepy who just stare at you and you just say, "I wish you just say something"? Do you ever just go up and say, "Would you like to say hello"?
No, I don't. But
I think you're single because people just don't want to embarrass themselves. They don't know what to say. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then there's just the intimidation factor of,
Well, I think two things.
And let me say this
My
last
happy-
thing.
okay,
Let
go
me say
ahead.
this last thing.
Go ahead.
And the cats that are not intimidated, them the wrong dudes.
Right.
Them dudes that
Right
just
about
come straight
that.
up,
They
hey,
be like-
hey, Miss Thing. You know what I'm saying? Pretty lady. Those are the wrong guys.
Yes, I think two things.
You're stuck.
No. I think two things happened. First thing was a problem, which is a great problem to have. I had a hit record. That's a great problem. Second thing, it was called Chante's Got a Man at Home.
Yeah.
So I'm saying all the time, Chante's got a man at home. So
That don't help.
They think Chante's got a man at home. I'm like, I always go, and he's 16 years old. Because I'm like, he's my kid. That's who's at home now. My dad, he's 87. So, yeah. So I don't know. I think, pardon me, some of it is that. Some of it is that I'm going to let you come to me. And if you don't,
Where's my camera? That's my camera right there. Fellas.
if you don't come,
If you don't come.
I'm a lady, and I can be aggressive. There are times I'm like, I will look back at you, but I'm not getting up to go to get you. I'm not going to pursue you.
Anytime that I've seen a woman and I liked her and I looked at her and she looked back at me, I immediately went to she wondering why I'm looking at her. I never my mind never went to, oh, she's encouraging me. The door is opening. She's staring back at me. And so I don't know. I'm a sucker. I'm a softie. I've always been the guy that's like, hey, hook me up with so and so, versus me walking up to somebody and saying something smooth.
No, let me tell you the smoothest. This is recent. The smoothest thing a dude has done to me in the last 10 years. One of them. Anyway, I was like, no, thank you. He was like, but I'm like, yeah, no. So he'd already stopped me and asked me, basically if he had my number. And I was like, honey, you're just too young for me anyway. I didn't know how old he was, but he looked young. So I was just like, mm-mm. So I walked away, blah, 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 blah. Went and said hello to some people, blah, 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 blah. Turned around and came back his direction to leave the joint that I was in. This one pulls his chair out just a little bit next to him. He pulls the chair out and just taps the chair. I was like, well, okay. Well,
you sat
down. So I sat my little behind down. I was like, well, all right, with your fine self. Okay, what you got to say?
Right.
So he had the door opened because he wasn't like, hey, so confidence and not arrogance. I can't stand arrogant men. Can't stand it, because whatever it is that you're arrogant about, we all got something that we're embarrassed about. So let that balance you out, because there's always something in all of us that's like, oh, that's my goofy place, or that's my weak spot, or that's my weakness, whatever it is. So if you put this big-headed thing happens, and usually things that are top heavy fall over. So anyway, I like a person who will just engage me. Come from my brain. Come from my brain.
Right.
Yeah, I've been told I'm pretty. Okay. Not that I don't want to hear that I'm pretty. Please tell me. Please give me compliments. I like that. But I like the way he knew I thought he was attractive, but I thought he was too young for me. So he was calculated enough to go, whatever I say is not going to work. So I'm just going to appeal to, come here. I loved it. And I sat on down. He got my number too.
There it is.
He did.
There it is. I think one of the smoothest things I've ever done when picking up a woman, I thought it was smooth at the time. I was in a crowded bar in LA, Sunset Place or whatever it was, the little club. But I saw a girl that I liked, and I saw this dude talking to her. I saw him approach. I saw him whispering in her ear. She had her drink, and she was listening and, doing the whole, and smiling. And then he walked off. And, and I was just like, I'm next. And I went in and I went up to her and I said, hey, how you doing? Listen, whatever that guy just said was some bullshit. So whatever he said, don't worry about that. I'm going to go to the bathroom real quick. I would love to talk to you when I come back. I hope you're still standing here. By the way, my name's Finesse, and I'll be right back. And I just left. I didn't know if that was going to work. I just left. And when I came out of the bathroom and I saw her still standing there, I started walking towards her, and I was about to walk by her, and she was like, so you just going to walk by now? I was just like, hey.
No, I was just testing you. I was testing.
You know what I'm
saying? You
right?
listened to me last time I said what I said.
I thought it was smooth only because it worked. And I'm sure,
right.
Whatever works, fellas, that's smooth. But you at least got to throw something out there.
Sometimes just being you is okay. I don't think it has to be a line or anything. I think it has to just be honest.
I hate the fact that I've been called Finesse since I was 18 years old. So and my family now calls me Finesse. Everybody calls me Finesse. But when dating, going up to somebody and saying, hi, my name is Finesse, it's immediate turnoff. Nobody,
Right, I see what you're saying.
So
but that's not bad, though. If that's what your name is, I think that'd be a good opening. You'd be like, seriously, that's your name? Your name is Finesse?
Hi, my name is Langston. No, it's just it don't roll off your tongue. So it's like, yeah, my name, Finesse. Oh, that's cool. But I hate it when somebody say, what's your real name? That turns me off, especially the teeth suck.
Oh,
what
yeah.
I mean? That turns me off.
Yeah.
Because if you still sucking teeth that loud, and
Right.
you know what I mean? It's like, nah, me and you ain't going to never get along, because you're going to be sucking teeth if I don't open your door. You're going to be sucking teeth if the food is sucks, you're gonna be sucking teeth. So that just can't be your go-to move if somebody just immediately annoyed you. You know what I mean? So anyway, what dating advice as far as, you know, there's a lot of young women out there. Mm-hmm. You said you can recognize women that's in trouble. You can recognize women who may be dating the wrong type of a guy. And, you know, sincerely, all this knowledge you got, if you were talking to the 23-year-old recording artist on her second album, first album almost went gold, but she feeling herself. She had a hot single. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to just like combining the two, what's the main thing out there? There's a lot of talented women out there. And they're young. And they just don't have no mentors. And there's many mentor programs as, you know, people try to say, oh, that's my mentor. You know what I'm saying? If you could mentor my understanding this fan base, you know what I'm saying, these young ladies that might check in and, you know, you never know, Chante, who just flat out adores you. You know what I mean? What's the message that when it just comes to career, being professional and being like just wanting love, wanting it all?
You can't have it all.
Can't have it all.
Not at once. I don't think so. I think understanding what your priorities are first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, figuring out what's most important. I think love will find you. That's the first thing.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of as a woman looking for who is coming and judging each person that comes and trying to figure out if they're, and that's not for you. Mm-hmm. Just do your job. Do your job. Be a great you.
Be a great you.
First.
That's a t-shirt. Jeannie D's.
Yeah, thanks for giving us the merch idea.
That's a t-shirt. Be a great
it's the truth. I mean, I haven't always understood myself. And I think knowing me better, I get that if I could just figured me out a little earlier and been more saying yes when I mean yes, saying no when I mean no, and being more true to myself, I would have been a better me. But I bent and contorted for men and for love and for the sake of not hurting someone else's feelings. Because I felt like I'm strong. I can deal with it. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
This would break them. I'll deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way to go.
I love it. I just got goosebumps. I feel like sometimes when we trying to just save other people's feelings and or just feel like we can handle it, you just get used to a certain treatment where you're like, okay, well, that's just how I'm gonna allow this person to treat me. Because there's other things that I really like about this person that kind of offset that. So if I can get more of that out of that person, then I'm good because everything else is good. But then when the seesaw starts to tip a little bit the other direction, now you start making excuses for this behavior and that behavior and for this bad night and this blow up or this person was jealous or this person called me out my name or this person actually grabbed me in a rough way or this person. I mean, I've been that dude all my life, Jeannie, where I got a gazillion girlfriends that I actually say to myself, this is the vain part of me. Well, I'm like, I wish you could find somebody like me to treat. And my wife would tell you, no, you're horrible. You know,
Wrong.
Wrong. They
Wrong
don't
again.
need someone like you. But when I see the type of dudes that I see some of my close friends go, you know, stick around too long with, I'm like, I don't, you know, I'm not a hater, but I don't think he's going to change.
So what kind of guy would you hook me up with if you were going to set me up with someone?
I would hook you up, Chante, with somebody between the ages of 45 and 49, right? Mm-hmm. I would make sure that they have some sort of outdoorsy thing that they're into, you know, like when they like, oh, well, I like to chill. I would not hook you up with somebody that's just like, hey, let's go to the house and just, you know, watch TV and then, you know, I would hook you up with someone who loves to get out of the house and they do have an activity. You don't have to like that activity, but if this dude says, I play tennis, I get out, I like the fresh air, I would find one of those dudes. I will hook you up with somebody who definitely has some sense of I love Jesus. You know, he has to have some sort of spiritual core, because if he doesn't, it's not going to click with you. You know, you're too entrenched in your love for the Lord to have that absent. And if a man is going to be, you know, so-called taking the reins in some
Be
regard,
there in my house.
yeah, he has to have that core. I would like for homie to be able to know how to cook something so that you guys can go back and forth. You like to cook? You love to cook, right? So I would love for you guys to trade recipes, and he cook for you and you cook for him. I would love for this guy to probably have a younger son or a younger daughter, you know, but a younger, you know. I think the way I see you with my kids, I think that energy would also give you something else to put energy into. You know what I mean? And if he has a daughter, amazing. You know what I mean? Because then everything you wanted to tell the 14-year-old Chante, you have that opportunity, right? I would hook you up with somebody who he definitely knows what he does for a living. He ain't in between nothing. You know what I mean? He ain't trying to figure out career. Matter of fact, he's actually making money during COVID. You know, it didn't affect his business. So when he says, hey, I'm busy, I'm going to work, or, you know, like, you know, you can see it. You know what I mean? And then lastly, somebody that's just easygoing, patient, loves music, and loves to laugh. That's the guy.
It's time to finesse your mess. If you're always stressed, then you'll need to finesse your mess.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. When I tell you we have been blessed today, Chante, I can't say enough. Thank you so much for just hanging out with me today. You
It's
know
my
what I mean? The honesty, the realness, and then just I don't know. I think people are going to really vibe the way I vibe. Every time you're around my family, I'm like, it's a blessing. You know what I mean? Every time my wife call her whack friends, I'd be like, why don't you call Chante? You know what I mean? Nah, she don't have whack friends. But you are definitely a blessing in our life. And yeah. Fellas, there's a phone number, 818-814-6241. You think you that dude? Do you think you that dude? You call to understand this hotline. You drop a message. Let me know your Instagram, and I will check you out and vet you. Because right now, my friend loves the Lord, but she's looking to hug somebody else. Chante Moore has been the guest today on Understand This. Jeannie D's.
What's up, brother?
You did your
Had a
thing,
great
my
time,
brother.
man.
I had a great time with you. And we out. We'll see y'all next week. Every Monday, please rate, review, subscribe, and tell a friend that the podcast is out and it's lit.
It's lit.
You want to sing something on our way out? Just
With the wang, 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 with the wang, wang, with the wang, 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 with the wang, 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 we want,
Hey. Chante, just so people know you're not just chilling, that you're not trying to like disappear during COVID. You're reaching out to people what day on Sunday?
Sundays at 3:00 Pacific Standard Time, 6:00 Eastern, from 3 to 4, 4:15. Usually I go longer because I can't stop singing. I don't know. It just feels good to connect with people. It feels good to do what I love to do, even though it's for free. I like to give that part away. It's very interesting, but it is satisfying. It really is satisfying. To
What's
do
your
that.
Instagram?
It is at I am Chante Moore. CHANTE MOOR.